They were right. I really am worthless. The thought slams through my head as laughter ripples across the ceremonial hall, sharp, cruel, like glass shards scraping against my ribs. I'm standing in the center of the claiming circle, surrounded by hundreds of people who came to witness the Crescent Moon Ritual, and every single one of them is staring at me like I'm a joke they've been waiting years to hear the punchline to. Did he actually think, an Omega like him? Kang Minho would never. The whispers don't even try to hide anymore. They want me to hear. They need me to hear. I keep my chin up, force my hands to stay loose at my sides instead of curling into fists. I've practiced this, looking unbothered when everything inside me is screaming. 24 years of being Jiho, the broken Omega, has taught me that much. But this is different, because 10 minutes ago, Kang Minho stood exactly where I'm standing now and told the entire assembly he was claiming me. His voice had been smooth, confident, like he'd rehearsed it. The crowd had gasped. A few people applauded. I'd felt something dangerously close to hope crack open inside my chest. And now he's looking at me like I'm a stranger. I made a mistake. Minho's voice cuts through the noise, and the hall goes silent. He's standing at the edge of the circle, hands clasped behind his back, posture perfect. 27 years old, devastatingly handsome, every inch the alpha heir his family molded him to be. His dark eyes meet mine for half a second before sliding away. Coward, the word burns in my throat, but I swallow it down. I spoke impulsively, Minho continues, addressing the council elders now, not me. I didn't consider the implications. An Omega without full manifestation? He pauses, lets the words settle like poison. It wouldn't be appropriate. Without full manifestation. That's the polite way of saying I'm defective. Because unlike every other Omega in this hall, I can't shift. Never have. My wolf exists. I can feel her sometimes, a distant echo beneath my ribs. But she's never surfaced, never transformed. The healers say it's a block. Trauma, maybe, or just bad luck. The council loves reminding me it makes me less. Kang Minho, Elder Shin's voice booms from the high platform. You declared your intention publicly. The ritual laws can be amended in cases of obvious unsuitability. That voice comes from the left side of the hall, smooth and venomous. Lee Daehyun. I don't have to look to know he's smiling. Daehyun is 25, an Omega from one of Seoul's oldest families, and he's hated me since our university days. Not because I ever did anything to him, but because I refused to disappear when he decided I should. The council shouldn't waste time on this. Daehyun continues, his tone dripping false concern. We all know Jiho's limitations. Minho was just being kind. Weren't you, Minho? Minho's jaw tightens, but he nods. Kind. Right. I'd laugh if I wasn't so busy trying not to shatter. The crowd's whispers swell again, louder now, bolder. Someone snickers. Someone else sighs like this is all very tedious. And I'm still standing here, trapped in this circle like an exhibit, waiting for someone to officially tell me what I already know. Nobody wants you? My fingers twitch. For a second, I feel it, that strange pulse beneath my skin, the one that's been happening more often lately. Like static electricity, but deeper, warmer. It hums through my veins and I have to concentrate to push it down before anyone notices. I don't know what it is, but I know better than to let it show. Then it's settled. Elder Shin sounds relieved. Kang Minho's claim is retracted. Jiho, you may step out of the... No. The word drops into the hall like a stone into still water. It didn't come from me. I turn, heart hammering, and that's when I see them. 4 men standing at the 4 cardinal points of the hall. North, south, east, west. I didn't notice them before, too focused on my own humiliation. But now it's impossible to look anywhere else. They're all tall, all broad-shouldered, all wearing the formal black and silver of the territorial kings. And they're all staring directly at me. The one to the north speaks first. His voice is cold, controlled, the kind of calm that makes you forget how to breathe. The claim is not retracted. Shin Wujin, the Northern King. 29, infamous for his ruthlessness in council negotiations. I've never spoken to him, but I've seen him from a distance. Sharp features, dark eyes that miss nothing. Wujinsi, Elder Shin stammers. This matter doesn't concern. It does. The second voice comes from the south, warmer but no less commanding. Park Taijin, 28, known for his diplomatic skill and his unshakable loyalty to his territory. He steps forward, gaze locked on me. Because we're making a claim of our own. The hall erupts. I can't move, can't think. Can't do anything but stand there as the third king, Choi Ha-jun, 27, from the Eastern Territories, grins like this is the most entertaining thing he's seen all year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ha-jun says lazily, but I don't recall the ritual laws saying only one alpha can claim an omega. And then the fourth, Yun Siwoo, 29, the Western King. He hasn't said a word, but he's walking toward me, slow and deliberate, and the crowd parts like he's carrying a blade. When he stops at the edge of the circle, he looks at me. Just me. Han Jiho, he says quietly. We claim you. My pulse stutters. The heat of 4 separate gazes presses against my skin like fingers I can't see. We claim you. Siwoo's words hang in the air, and for a second, the entire hall forgets how to breathe, including me. I blink. Once. Twice. My brain is still trying to catch up to what my ears just heard. 4 territorial kings, actual kings, the kind of alphas who make council elders stammer and rival packs bow, just said they're claiming me. Han Jiho, the defective Omega, the one without a proper shift, the guy who got publicly humiliated 30 seconds ago. This has to be a joke, but none of them are laughing. Wujin's expression hasn't changed, still that unreadable mask of ice and authority. Taijin looks determined, almost protective, his jaw set like he's daring someone to argue. Ha-jun's grin has sharpened into something that's equal parts amusement and challenge. And Siwoo, standing closest to me now, just watches, waiting. Waiting for what? This is absurd. Elder Shin's voice cracks through the silence, high-pitched and flustered. You can't. 4 alphas cannot claim a single omega. It's unprecedented. It's legal, Wujin cuts in smoothly. He hasn't moved from his spot in the north, but somehow his presence fills the entire hall. There's no law prohibiting multiple claims, only tradition discouraging it. Tradition exists for a reason, Elder Shin sputters. Traditions change. Taijin's voice is calm, steady, the kind of tone that makes you believe whatever he says next is an undeniable fact. And we're changing this one. I should say something, do something, but my tongue feels like it's been glued to the roof of my mouth, and my legs have apparently forgotten they're supposed to hold me upright. This is insane. Ha-jun tilts his head, studying me with those sharp, mischievous eyes. You're taking this pretty well, Jihosi. Most omegas would have fainted by now. Oh, I'm considering it. Instead, I force my voice to work. Why? It comes out quieter than I intended, but at least it's steady. I look between the 4 of them, searching for the punchline, the ulterior motive, the reason 4 of the most powerful alphas in Korea just derailed an entire ritual for someone like me. Why you? Siwoo echoes. His voice is soft, almost thoughtful, and it makes something in my chest twist. Because you're worth claiming, I almost laugh. I would laugh, except he sounds sincere, and that's somehow worse than mockery. I don't even know you, I say. And yeah, there's the edge I was looking for. A little sharpness to hide the fact that I'm 2 seconds away from either bolting or breaking. Any of you, you've never spoken to me, never looked at me, and now you're, what, playing hero? Making a political statement? Ha-jun grins wider. Oh, I like him. Jiho. Taijin takes a step forward, and I tense on instinct. But he stops at the edge of the circle, hands loose at his sides, non-threatening. We've known about you for longer than you think. That stops me cold. What? We've been watching, Wujin says simply, like that's a normal thing to admit. For months, months, the static feeling under my skin flares, sudden and hot, and I have to clench my fist to keep it down. That's not creepy at all. Hajun laughs outright. See? Sassy? I told you he was sassy. You told us he was brilliant, Tajan corrects, still watching me with that unshakable calm. The telepathy research you published last year, revolutionary. The council tried to bury it because it came from an unmanifested omega, but we read it. I freeze. My research. The paper I spent 2 years on, the one that got rejected from every major journal because nobody takes an omega seriously when they can't shift. I published it independently out of pure spite, not expecting anyone to actually read it. You read my work? Cover to cover, Wu Jin confirms. Your theory on shared mental links between bonded pairs could change how we understand pack dynamics entirely. I don't know what to do with that, with any of this. Plus, Hajun adds, you knocked out a full-grown alpha at last year's summer tournament with a single punch. That was hilarious. Oh, God. They saw that. I'd been drunk. The alpha had been talking trash about omegas. I'd reacted on pure instinct and rage, and yeah, I'd dropped him in one hit. I thought everyone had forgotten about it. Apparently not. So what? I managed, trying to pull the pieces of my brain back together. You've been stalking me for months and decided, what, today was a good day to ruin your reputations by claiming the broken omega? You're not broken. Siwoo's voice cuts through my spiraling thoughts, quiet and absolute. You're extraordinary. The word hits me like a physical blow. Extraordinary. Nobody has ever called me that. We didn't plan this, Taijin admits, and there's something almost rueful in his expression. We were going to approach you after the ritual, properly, with time and consideration. But then Hajun jerks his chin toward where Minho is still standing, looking pale and miserable, decided to be an idiot. And we couldn't let that stand, Woojin finishes. The hall is still dead silent. Hundreds of people watching this unfold like it's a drama they paid to see. I can feel Daehyun's glare from across the room, sharp enough to cut. Elder Shin looks like he's aged 10 years in the last 5 minutes. And Minho, I glance at him. Just once. He's staring at the floor. Something in my chest twists, but it's not the same desperate ache it would have been an hour ago. It's disappointment, and beneath that, anger. Because I wasted months reading into his smiles, his casual touches, his maybe someday promises. And he couldn't even look me in the eye when he broke me. But these four, I look at them again. Really look. They're still watching me, waiting, not pushing, not demanding, just offering. This is crazy, I say finally. Hajun grins. Best kind of crazy. What if I say no? Siwoo's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. Then we respect that, and we leave. But we hope you won't, Tajan adds quietly. The static under my skin pulses again, stronger this time, and I feel it. That strange, inexplicable pull toward all four of them. Like something in me recognizes something in them, which is impossible, right? I take a breath. Let it out slow. I need time. Take it, Woojin says immediately. But decide here, Hajun adds with a wink. We're dramatic like that. Despite everything, the chaos, the shock, the absolute insanity of this moment, I almost smile. Almost. The word catches in my throat before it can become a real smile, because nothing about this situation is even remotely funny, except maybe Hajun's face. He looks way too pleased with himself for someone who just hijacked a sacred ritual. Jiho, Elder Shin's voice cuts through my thoughts, tight with barely concealed panic. You don't have to answer now. This is highly irregular. We should convene the full council, review precedents. No. The word comes out sharper than I intended, but I'm done being treated like I don't get a say in my own life. You wanted a decision in this circle. Fine, I'll give you one. Woojin's eyes narrow slightly, not in anger, in focus. Like he's reading me the way I used to read quantum theory textbooks at 3 in the morning. I turn slowly, taking in the entire hall, the shocked faces, the whispers that haven't quite started up again. Hyun, who looks like he just swallowed something sour, and Minho, still staring at the ground like the marble floor holds all the answers he was too scared to give me himself. My heart is racing, but my hands are steady. That's new. I have a question first, I say, looking back at the four kings, and I want the truth. Not politics, not strategy, just honesty. Ask. Siwoo's voice is quiet, but it carries. I meet his eyes, then Taijin's, Hajun's, Woojin's. Why now? You said you've been watching for months. You could have approached me privately, saved yourselves the spectacle. So why wait until I was standing here, humiliated, before making your move? Silence. It stretches just long enough that I think maybe I've finally asked a question they can't answer. Then Taijin speaks. Because we wanted you to see the difference. I blink. What? Between someone who claims you when it's convenient, Woojin continues, his gaze flicking briefly to Minho, and those who claim you when it costs them something. Oh, oh, this isn't convenient for us, Taijun adds. The council will fight it. The other territories will question it. Our own pacts might resist a shared bond. But we don't care, Hajun says simply. We decided weeks ago that if we were doing this, we were doing it right. No half measures, no hiding. You deserve to be chosen loudly, Siwoo finishes, not whispered about in private. Something cracks inside my chest. Not breaking, opening, like a door I didn't know was locked. I've spent my entire life being quiet, being small, making myself easy to overlook because it was safer than being seen and rejected. And these four just stood in front of hundreds of people and chose me anyway. The static under my skin pulses again, but this time I don't push it down. I let it hum through my veins, warm and alive, and for the first time, I wonder if maybe it's not a glitch. Maybe it's something else entirely. Okay. The word drops into the space between us, simple and certain. Hajun's grin could light up the entire city. Okay. Okay, I repeat, louder this time. I look at each of them in turn, letting them see that I mean it. I accept your claim. The hall erupts, gasps, shouts. Someone drops something that shatters on the marble floor. Elder Shin looks like he's about to have a stroke. And Daehyun, God, Daehyun's expression is so beautifully outraged that I almost wish I had a camera. But I'm not looking at them anymore. I'm looking at the four alphas who just turned my world upside down, and they're all staring back at me like I just handed them something priceless. Taijin moves first. He steps into the circle, closing the distance between us with careful, deliberate steps. When he's close enough that I can see the gold flecks in his dark eyes, he stops. May I? He holds out his hand, palm up. An offer, not a demand. I take it. His skin is warm, calloused. The grip is firm but gentle. And the second our hands connect, that static feeling flares. Hot and bright and so intense I actually gasp. Taijin's eyes widen. Did you? Yeah. My voice comes out breathless. What was that? I don't know. But he's smiling, soft and wondering, like he just discovered something amazing. Hajun's next. He doesn't ask permission, just slides up beside me and loops an arm around my shoulders like we've known each other for years instead of minutes. We're going to have so much fun, he murmurs, and I can hear the grin in his voice. The static hums louder. Woojin approaches from the north, his movements precise and controlled. He doesn't reach for my hand. Instead, he inclines his head slightly, a gesture of respect that somehow feels more intimate than a touch. Han Jiho, he says formally, I vow to protect you, to honor you, and to stand beside you. Always. My throat tightens. I manage a nod, not trusting my voice. And then there's Siwoo. He's the last to move, the last to close the distance. When he stops in front of me, he doesn't smile, doesn't speak. He just looks at me with those impossibly dark eyes, and I feel seen in a way that makes every nerve in my body light up. Slowly, carefully, he reaches out and brushes his fingers against my wrist. Just a whisper of contact. The static explodes, not painfully, just overwhelmingly, like every synapse in my brain just fired at once. I feel heat flood through me, feel something ancient and powerful stir beneath my ribs, and suddenly I know. This isn't random. This isn't coincidence. This is a bond, a real one, the kind you read about in old texts and dismissed as mythology. You feel it, Siwoo breathes, and it's not a question. I feel it, I whisper back. Behind us, the hall is chaos. Elders arguing, spectators gossiping, the whole political structure of the territories probably collapsing in real time. But in this moment, standing in a circle with four alphas whose scents are starting to wrap around me like a living thing, I don't care. For the first time in my life, I feel right. Hajun squeezes my shoulder. So, what now? I glance back at the crowd, at Daehyun's furious glare, at Minho's devastated expression. A wild, reckless part of me wants to say something cutting. Something that'll make them understand exactly what they threw away. But I don't, because they're not worth it. Instead, I turn back to the four kings and let myself smile. A real one this time. Now, I say, now we get out of here. If you're loving Jiho's journey, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss what happens next. Trust me, you won't want to miss the chaos that's coming. The words barely leave my mouth before Woojin moves. Not rushed, not frantic, just decisive. He turns to face the council elders, and somehow the entire hall goes quiet again, just from the weight of his presence. The claim is made, he states, voice cutting through the chaos like a blade through silk. The bond has been accepted. This matter is closed. Elder Shin sputters. You cannot simply... We can. Taejin's tone is warmer than Woojin's, but no less final. And we have. The ritual laws are clear. Once an Omega accepts a claim within the sacred circle, it's binding. But four alphas are still alphas, Hajun interrupts cheerfully. Last time I checked, that's all the law requires. Or are you saying the ancient texts got it wrong? The elder's face goes an impressive shade of red. I should probably feel bad about watching him squirm. I don't. There will be consequences, another council member hisses from the platform. I don't recognize him, but he's glaring at me like I personally set his house on fire. The territories won't stand for this disruption of tradition. The territories will adapt. Siwoo's quiet voice somehow carries more authority than all the shouting. As they always have. His hand is still resting against my wrist. And I can feel my pulse hammering against his fingers. Can he feel it too? The way my heart is trying to break out of my chest? Probably. Jihosi, a new voice cuts in, and I tense immediately. Minho, he's finally moved from his spot at the edge of the circle, and he's looking at me now. Actually looking, with something that might be regret swimming in his dark eyes. Too little, too late. I need to speak with you, he says. Privately. No. The word comes out flat and cold, and I watch him flinch. Good. Please, I can explain. Explain what? I cut him off, and there's an edge to my voice I've never heard before. Sharp, unforgiving. That you promised to claim me in front of everyone, then backed out the second it became inconvenient? That you were just being kind? I throw Daehyun's words back at him, and they taste bitter. Save it, I'm not interested. Minho's jaw tightens. You don't understand the pressure I was under. The council, my family, I understand perfectly. I take a step toward him, and Hajun's arm slides off my shoulders to let me move. I understand that when it mattered, you chose them over me. That's all I need to know. For a second, Minho just stares at me. Then his gaze flicks to the four kings standing behind me, and something ugly crosses his face. Is that what this is? His voice drops low, sharp. Revenge? You're accepting their claim just to hurt me? I actually laugh. It's not a nice sound. You think this is about you? I shake my head slowly. Minho, you're not that important. This is about me finally choosing people who actually see me as worth the risk. His face goes pale. Before he can respond, Daehyun appears at his side. Of course he does. The other Omega's expression is perfectly composed, but I can see the fury simmering beneath the surface. How noble, Daehyun says, his voice dripping with false sweetness. The broken Omega, rescued by four kings. It's almost romantic. If it wasn't so obviously a publicity stunt, Taejin goes very still beside me. Careful, he says quietly, but I don't need him to fight this battle. Publicity stunt, I repeat slowly, looking Daehyun dead in the eye. Right, because the only reason anyone would want me is for attention. It couldn't possibly be because I'm brilliant or strong or worth something. That would be crazy. Daehyun's perfect mask cracks just a little. You're delusional, and you're bitter. I smile, and it's not kind. I get it. You spent years making sure everyone knew I was beneath you, and now 4 territorial kings just claim me in front of the entire assembly. That's got to sting. His eyes flash with genuine anger now. You have no idea what you're getting into. A bond with 4 alphas? It's unnatural. Dangerous. You'll never be able to handle. That's enough. Woojin's voice cuts through the air like ice, and Daehyun actually takes a step back. You will not speak to our Omega that way. Our Omega. The words settle over me like a physical weight, not crushing, anchoring. I belong to them now, and they to me. The static beneath my skin pulses in response, and suddenly I feel something else, something new. It's like a door opening in my mind, and on the other side, anger, protective fury, the need to defend what's ours. I gasp. The sensation isn't mine. It's coming from them. All 4 of them, flooding through that strange connection I felt when we touched. Oh God, is this what a bond feels like? Jiho? Siwoo's hand tightens slightly on my wrist. What's wrong? I can feel you, I breathe. All of you. Your emotions. I cut myself off because I'm standing in the middle of a hall full of people who would love to use this against us, and I'm not about to hand them ammunition. But Siwoo's eyes widen slightly. Taejin goes very still. Even Hajun's grin falters. You feel the bond? Woojin asks, so quietly only I can hear. I nod. Something passes between the 4 of them. A look I can't quite read, but it feels significant. Heavy. We need to leave, Taejin says abruptly. Now. Agreed. Woojin turns back to the council. We'll address the formal details tomorrow. Tonight we're taking our Omega home. You can't just. We can. Hajun's grin is back, sharp and dangerous. We're kings, remember? We can do whatever we want. It's arrogant and probably politically stupid, but I can't help the flutter of satisfaction in my chest. Siwoo's hand moves from my wrist to the small of my back, a gentle pressure guiding me toward the hall's exit. Taejin falls into step on my other side, a warm, solid presence. Woojin leads the way, cutting through the crowd like they're water. And Hajun brings up the rear, still grinning like this is the best night of his life. As we pass Minho and Daehyun, I don't look back. There's nothing behind me worth seeing anymore. The hall doors open, and cool night air rushes in. Seoul stretches out below us. The city lights glittering like stars fall into earth. Where are we going? I ask. Somewhere safe, Taejin says. Somewhere we can talk without an audience. And figure out what the hell is happening with this bond, Hajun adds. Because if you can already feel our emotions, that's not normal. Nothing about this is normal, I point out. True. Siwoo's hand stays steady on my back. But we'll figure it out together. Together. The word resonates through that strange new connection, and I feel their agreement, their certainty. For the first time in hours, I let myself relax. Just a little. The thought barely settles before the static beneath my skin surges, white-hot and overwhelming. I stumble, and Siwoo's hand on my back is the only thing keeping me upright. Jiho! His voice cuts through the sudden roar in my head. I can't answer, can't breathe, because the door in my mind that cracked open moments ago just blew wide, and I'm drowning in a flood of emotions that aren't mine. Concern, sharp and immediate. From Taejin, alarm, cold calculation already forming a plan. From Woojin, fear, genuine, bone-deep fear. From Siwoo, panic, barely controlled. From Hajun, which is somehow the most terrifying because he doesn't seem like the type to panic about anything. Inside, now. Woojin's voice cuts through the chaos, and suddenly we're moving. I'm vaguely aware of being guided down the hall's marble steps, of Taejin's arm around my waist supporting most of my weight. The night air is cool against my flushed skin, but it does nothing to stop the fire racing through my veins. What's happening to him? Hajun's voice, closer now. Tighter than I've heard it. The bond, Siwoo says. It's manifesting too fast. That's not possible, Wu Jin again. Bond manifestation takes days, sometimes weeks. Does he look like he has weeks? Taejin snaps, and I feel his grip on me tighten. A car appears. Black, sleek, expensive looking. The door opens and I'm carefully maneuvered inside. Taejin sliding in next to me, Siwoo on my other side. Hajun takes the front passenger seat and Wu Jin gets behind the wheel. The engine purrs to life. Talk to us, Jiho. Taejin's hand finds mine, and the moment our skin connects, the overwhelming flood of emotions sharpens into something more focused. Still intense, but manageable. What are you feeling? Everything. My voice comes out rough. I can feel all of you, not just emotions, thoughts almost. Like whispers I can't quite make out. Silence, heavy and loaded. That's not a standard bond, Wu Jin says from the driver's seat. The car pulls away from the ceremonial hall, Seoul's lights blurring past the windows. That's something else entirely. Telepathy. The word tumbles out before I can stop it. My research. I theorize that omegas might have latent telepathic abilities that could be triggered by a powerful bond, Siwoo finishes quietly. We read your paper, remember? Right. They did. But it was just a theory, I manage. I never had any proof. I can't even shift, so I assumed that you were broken, Taejin says gently. You're not. You never were. The static pulses again, and this time I understand what it is. Not a glitch. Not a malfunction. Power. My power. Oh God. I pressed my free hand against my forehead. This is why I couldn't shift. The energy was going somewhere else. Building up, waiting for the right trigger, Wu Jin confirms. A bond strong enough to unlock it. But why four of you? I look between them, trying to make sense of it. If this is telepathic resonance, one alpha should have been enough. Unless you're not a standard omega. Hajun twists in his seat to look at me, and his expression is serious now. No trace of that playful grin. We had a theory. It's why we were watching you. My heart kicks against my ribs. What theory? The three of them exchange a look. Some silent conversation I'm not part of yet. Finally, Wu Jin speaks. Have you ever heard of a nexus? The word sends a chill down my spine. That's a myth. An omega who can bond with multiple alphas and amplify their pack strength through a shared mental link. They haven't existed in centuries. Until now, Siwoo says quietly. Oh. You think I can't even finish the sentence. We know you are. Taejin's thumb traces circles on my palm, grounding. The moment we saw you at that tournament, knocking out an alpha twice your size, we felt it. The pull. All four of us, at the same time. We tried to ignore it at first, Hajun admits. Thought it was coincidence. Four territorial kings don't just randomly fixate on the same omega. But then we started comparing notes, Wu Jin continues. Realized we were all experiencing the same thing. The same certainty that you were meant to be ours? We researched, Siwoo adds, found old texts about Nexus Omegas, about how they were considered sacred, powerful, the keystone that could unite fractured packs. My brain is spinning. So you've known. This whole time you suspected. We hoped, Taejin corrects, but we couldn't be sure until the bond formed, until you felt it too. And now, my voice cracks slightly. Now, Wu Jin says, we need to get you somewhere safe before the council figures out what you are. That stops me cold. Why? If Nexus Omegas are sacred, they're also valuable, Hajun cuts in. And there's an edge to his voice I haven't heard before. Do you know what the council would do if they realized they had a living nexus in their territory? They'd lock you up, use you as a political tool, force bonds with alphas of their choosing to create the strongest possible pack for their own gain. Ice floods my veins. They can, Wu Jin says flatly. The old laws give them that right in cases of exceptional omegas for the good of the territories. That's barbaric. That's politics. Siwoo's hand finds my knee, a gentle pressure. Which is why we claimed you publicly, before they could. A claimed Omega can't be forced into additional bonds without their consent. But I'm bonded to 4 of you, I point out. Won't they suspect? Let them suspect. Taejin's voice is steel wrapped in velvet. They can't prove anything, and by the time they figure it out, you'll be under our protection. All 4 territories worth of it. The car turns onto a quieter street. Trees line the road, their branches creating shadows that dance across the windows. Where are we going? I ask. Woojin's territory, Hajun answers. Northern Seoul. Most secure location we have. Plus, Siwoo adds with the faintest hint of amusement, his place has the best wards against telepathic surveillance. I blink. There's telepathic surveillance? You really thought your research was purely theoretical? Woojin glances at me in the rearview mirror. The council's been using basic telepathic monitoring for years. Why do you think they tried so hard to bury your paper? Because I was close to exposing them, I breathe. Exactly. The car pulls through a gate that opens automatically, revealing a compound that's somehow both modern and traditional. Clean lines and glass mixed with curved tile roofs and wooden accents. Welcome home, Taejin says softly. Home. The word resonates through the bond, and I feel their agreement, their certainty. But beneath it, I feel something else. Something they're trying to hide. Fear, not of me, for me. What aren't you telling me? I ask as the car stops. Another exchange look. Inside first, Woojin says. Then we'll explain everything. I don't move. No. Woojin's hand pauses on the door handle. Jiho. Inside first. Explanations after? I shake my head. That's not how this works. You don't get to drop the whole, you're a mythical Omega the council wants to control bomb, and then make me wait for the rest. Hajun makes a sound that's half laugh, half groan. I told you he wouldn't let it go. I can literally feel that you're scared, I continue, looking between them. All of you. So either tell me what's terrifying 4 territorial kings, or I'm walking back to that hall and demanding answers from the council myself. It's an empty threat, probably. But they don't need to know that. Taejin sighs. You're going to be impossible, aren't you? Absolutely. I cross my arms. I've had a really long night. Humor me. Silence stretches between us, broken only by the soft tick of the cooling engine. Through the bond, I feel them weighing options, having that silent conversation I'm still not quite part of. Finally, Siwoo speaks. The last known Nexus Omega was killed 300 years ago. My blood goes cold. Killed how? By the council of that era. Woojin's voice is flat, matter-of-fact, which somehow makes it worse. They were afraid of his power, afraid he'd unite the territories under alphas they couldn't control. So they assassinated him, Hajun finishes, made it look like an accident. By the time anyone figured out the truth, it was too late. I process this. Try to. Anyway. And you think the current council would? We don't know, Taejin says honestly. Some of them, maybe. The older families, the ones who still believe in traditional order, they'd see you as a threat. But others might see you as an opportunity, Woojin adds, a way to consolidate power, control the territories through you. Either way, Siwoo's hand tightens on my knee. You're not safe, not until the bond is fully established, and you're under our official protection. I look at him, at all of them. How long does that take? For a normal bond, a week, maybe 2. Taejin's expression is troubled. But for a Nexus bond with 4 alphas? We don't know. There's no precedent. Best guess, I press. Days, Woojin says. If we're lucky. But the manifestation will be intense. Possibly dangerous. Dangerous how? Hajun shifts in his seat. Your telepathy is already active, and the bond isn't even complete. Once it fully forms, you'll be connected to all 4 of us on a level that's never been documented. Your mind, our minds all linked. That kind of power doesn't come without risk, Siwoo says quietly. It could overwhelm you, burn out your psychic channels if you're not careful. Or, Taejin adds gently, It could kill you. The words hang in the air like smoke. Oh, I manage. That's great. Love that for me. Despite everything, Hajun snorts. He's joking, while discussing his potential death. I really do like him. It's either joke or scream, I point out, and screaming seems counterproductive. We won't let it get that far. Wu Jin's voice cuts through the tension like a blade. We'll monitor the bond formation, slow it down if necessary, keep you stable. How? Proximity helps, Taejin explains. Physical contact, scent sharing. Basically, the more time we spend together, the smoother the transition. I raise an eyebrow. You're telling me the cure for potentially dying is to cuddle with four alphas? Essentially, yes. Siwoo's lips quirk in what might be the closest thing to a smile I've seen from him. Well, I unbuckle my seatbelt. I've had worse prescriptions. This time Hajun does laugh, bright and genuine. See? Impossible. We file out of the car, and I get my first real look at Woojin's territory. The compound is bigger than I thought, sprawling across what must be several acres. Traditional Korean architecture blends seamlessly with modern design, creating something that feels both ancient and contemporary. It's beautiful, I say without thinking. Wait until you see the inside. Hajun appears at my side, that playful grin back in place. Woojin has excellent taste, except in furniture. His taste in furniture is terrible. My furniture is practical, Woojin says mildly, leading us toward the main building. Your furniture is torture devices disguised as chairs. You're welcome to stand. I feel a laugh bubbling up despite everything. Despite the fear and the uncertainty and the very real possibility that I might die from magical omega puberty. Are they always like this? I ask Taejin. Always, he confirms, but he's smiling. You'll get used to it. The entrance opens into a space that takes my breath away. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook a private garden lit by soft lights. The interior is all clean lines and natural materials, wood and stone and glass, creating a sense of calm I didn't realize I needed. Come on. Siwoo's hand finds the small of my back again, guiding me deeper into the space. We should get you settled. And fed, Taejin adds. When's the last time you ate? I try to remember. Fail. Breakfast? That was 14 hours ago. Woojin sounds disapproving. I was a little busy being publicly humiliated and then claimed by four kings, I point out. Eating wasn't exactly a priority. It is now. Taejin steers me toward what I assume is the kitchen. Bond formation burns energy. You need to keep your strength up. The kitchen is just as impressive as the rest of the place. All sleek counters and professional-grade appliances. Taejin moves through it like he owns it, pulling out ingredients with practiced ease. He cooks? I ask the others. He's the only one of us who won't poison you, Hajun says cheerfully, hopping onto a counter. Woojin can boil water without burning it, but that's about his limit. I have staff for cooking, Woojin says. You have staff because you'd starve otherwise. I watch them bicker, feel the warmth of their affection through the bond, and something in my chest loosens. This is insane. All of it. 24 hours ago, I was convinced I'd spend my life alone, rejected and unwanted. Now I'm standing in a territorial king's kitchen, bonded to four alphas, apparently hosting mythical powers that might kill me. And somehow, impossibly, I feel safer than I have in years. Jiho? Siwoo's voice pulls me back. You okay? I look at him. At all of them. These four strangers who saw something in me worth risking everything for. Yeah, I say and mean it. I think I am. Through the bond, I feel their relief, their joy, their fierce, protective determination. Whatever comes next, I won't face it alone. And that makes all the difference. Want to see how Jiho handles his new powers and the dangerous bond? Subscribe now so you don't miss the next chapter. Things are about to get intense. The thought barely settles before the static flares again, sudden and sharp. I gasp, gripping the counter edge as heat floods through me in waves. Jiho! Taejin drops the knife he was holding, crossing to me in 2 strides. I'm fine, I grit out, even though I'm very obviously not fine. The bond is pulsing now, rhythmic and insistent, like a second heartbeat trying to sync with my own. 4 heartbeats, actually. I can feel all of them. The bond's accelerating. Woojin's voice comes from somewhere to my left. It shouldn't be moving this fast. Unless he's more powerful than we thought, Siwoo says quietly. Through the haze of sensation, I feel Hajun move closer. His hand finds my shoulder, warm and grounding. Talk to us. What do you need? I don't know. My voice sounds strained even to my own ears. It's like something's trying to break free, but I don't know how to let it out. Your telepathy, Woojin says. It's trying to fully manifest, but you're fighting it. I'm not fighting anything. Yes, you are. Taejin's hand cups my face, gentle but firm, forcing me to meet his eyes. You've spent your whole life suppressing parts of yourself. Your power, your worth, your voice. You can't do that anymore, Jiho. Not with us. The words hit somewhere deep, cracking something open. I don't know how to stop, I whisper. Then let us help. Siwoo appears on my other side, his presence calm and steady. Open the bond. Let us in. I could hurt you. You won't. His certainty flows through the connection, absolute and unshakable. We trust you. I want to argue, want to point out all the ways this could go wrong. But the bond is burning now, demanding release, and I'm so tired of fighting. So I stop. I close my eyes and let go of every wall I've built, every defense I've carefully maintained. The static explodes outward, and suddenly I'm not just feeling their emotions anymore. I'm in their minds. The sensation is overwhelming. 4 distinct consciousnesses pressing against mine, each one unique and vivid and utterly overwhelming. Woojin's mind is structured, organized, like walking through a library where every thought is cataloged and filed. But underneath the order, I feel his fear, not of me, of failing to protect me. Taejin's consciousness is warm, layered with memories and emotions he doesn't hide. I catch flashes of his past, of losses that shaped him into someone who holds tight to what he loves. And he loves me already. The depth of it steals my breath. Hajun's thoughts move fast, jumping from idea to idea with a brilliance that's almost dizzying. But beneath the wit and the humor, there's loneliness. Years of it. The weight of being the youngest king, always proving himself, never quite feeling enough. And Siwoo. His mind is quiet, controlled, but when I brush against it, I find intensity that makes my knees weak. He's been watching me for longer than the others, months longer, and every moment of it is cataloged in his memory with a detail that should be frightening, but somehow isn't. Jiho, Woojin's voice anchors me. You need to pull back. I can't. My own voice sounds distant. It's too much. I don't know how. Yes, you do. Taejin's thumb brushes my cheek. You're in control. You always have been. Feel our mind, Siwoo murmurs. But don't lose yourself in them. Stay centered. I try. Push against the tide of their thoughts and emotions, searching for the boundary between us. It's harder than it sounds. Their consciousness feels like home in a way that's terrifying and perfect and completely overwhelming. That's it, Hajun encourages. We can feel you pulling back. You're doing it. Slowly, agonizingly, I manage to create some distance. Not shutting them out completely. I don't think I could, even if I wanted to, but establishing a space that's just mine. When I open my eyes, all 4 of them are staring at me with expressions I can't quite read. Well, I manage, my voice shaky. That was intense. Hajun laughs, but it sounds breathless. Intense is one word for it. Did you just read all our minds? Not read exactly. More like felt them? I look between them, trying to find words for something I barely understand myself. I could sense your thoughts, your memories, but it wasn't invasive. It was like you were sharing them with me. We were, Woojin confirms. The bond works both ways. You were in our minds, but we were in yours too. Oh. So you saw everything, Taejin says gently. Every moment of doubt, every time someone made you feel small, every wall you built to survive. Heat floods my face. They saw me, all of me. The broken parts I spend so much energy hiding. Hey, Hajun's hand finds my chin, tilting my face up. None of that. You think we're scared off by a little trauma? We're territorial kings. We collect broken things and make them powerful. I'm not a thing, I say automatically. His grin sharpens. No, you're ours, which is infinitely better. Through the bond, I feel their agreement, their absolute certainty that every messy, damaged part of me is exactly what they want. It should be impossible to believe. But with their emotions flowing through me, honest and unfiltered, I can't doubt it. The bond is stabilizing, Woojin observes. The telepathic link is formed, which means phase one is complete, Siwoo adds. I blink. There are phases? Three, according to the old texts, Taejun explains. Telepathic connection, scent bonding, and then the final claiming. Final claiming, I repeat slowly. That sounds significant. It is. Woojin's dark eyes hold mine. It's when the bond becomes permanent, unbreakable, and it requires... I trail off, pretty sure I know the answer. Intimacy, Siwoo confirms. With all four of us. The kitchen suddenly feels very warm. Not tonight, Taejun adds quickly, reading my expression. You're exhausted. The telepathic manifestation alone would have drained a normal Omega completely. You need rest. I'm not tired, I protest, even as a yawn catches me mid-sentence. Hajun snorts. Right. Totally believable. Come on. Siwoo's hand finds mine, his touch sending pleasant warmth through the bond. We'll show you where you'll sleep. Where we'll sleep, Taejin corrects. Proximity, remember? The bond needs it. I should probably be more concerned about the idea of sleeping in the same space as four alphas I've known for approximately 3 hours. But through the bond, I feel their protectiveness, their genuine care, and beneath it all, a desire they're carefully keeping contained, giving me space to adjust. Okay, I say, lead the way. As we move through the compound, I feel the bond settling into something steady, still new, still strange, but somehow right. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. And maybe, just maybe, I'll finally learn what it means to be chosen. Not as a consolation, not as a backup plan, but as someone worth keeping. The thought echoes through the bond, and I feel their response instantly. 4 distinct waves of emotion crashing over me, each one saying the same thing in different ways. You were always worth keeping. Siwoo leads me down a hallway lined with traditional artwork, his hand warm and steady in mine. The others follow close behind, their presence a comfort I'm still getting used to. Here, he stops in front of a door, sliding it open to reveal a room that steals what's left of my breath. It's massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the gardens, now lit by moonlight that turns everything silver. The bed is large enough to fit 6 people comfortably, covered in soft fabrics that look expensive and inviting. But what catches my attention is the care in every detail. Books stacked on the nightstand, research journals on telepathy and bond theory, a desk by the window with a laptop already set up. Even the temperature feels perfect, like someone studied exactly what would make me comfortable. You did this. I turn to look at them. Before tonight, you prepared this room for me. We hoped, Taejin says simply. After the ritual, we were planning to ask you properly. Court you the right way. Instead, we improvised. Hajun grins, much more dramatic. I shake my head, but I'm smiling. You're all insane. You accepted our claim, Woojin points out. What does that make you? Equally insane, apparently. Through the bond, I feel their amusement, their affection, and underneath it, something deeper, hungrier. The air in the room shifts. We should let you rest, Taejin says, but he doesn't move toward the door. Should, I agree, but you're not going to. The bond needs proximity, Siwoo reminds me quietly. We'll stay close. Keep you stable through the night. How close? Hajun's grin turns wicked. How close do you want us? My pulse kicks up. Through the bond, I feel their desires spike in response, feeding off my reaction. It's intoxicating and terrifying, and I should definitely tell them to slow down. Instead, I hear myself say, closer. The word hangs between us for a heartbeat. Then Woojin moves. He crosses to me in 3 strides, and suddenly he's there, right in front of me, close enough that I can see the gold flecks in his dark eyes. Are you sure? I should say no. Should be smart and cautious and give myself time to process the absolutely insane night I've had. But I can feel them through the bond. Feel how much they want this, want me, and how carefully they're holding back. Waiting for permission. Waiting for me to choose. So I do. I close the distance and kiss him. Woojin goes still for half a second, surprised. Then his hands find my waist and he's kissing me back with an intensity that makes my knees weak. His lips are firm, demanding, and when his tongue brushes against mine, the bond ignites. Heat floods through me, sharper and brighter than anything I've felt before. I gasp into his mouth, and he swallows the sound, pulling me closer. Through the bond, I feel the others react. Feel Taejin's spike of arousal, Hajun's sharp inhale, Siwoo's carefully controlled desire. My turn. Hajun's voice comes from behind me, playful but strained. Woojin pulls back slowly, his pupils blown wide. He brushes his thumb across my lower lip, a touch so gentle it contrasts beautifully with the fierce kiss we just shared. Then Hajun spins me around and captures my mouth with his. Where Woojin was controlled intensity, Hajun is pure fire. He kisses like he does everything else, with enthusiasm and skill and just enough teasing to make me crazy. His teeth catch my bottom lip, and I make a sound I'll be embarrassed about later. Right now, I don't care. You taste even better than I imagined, he murmurs against my mouth. You imagine? Constantly. His grin is sharp and hungry. For months. Before I can process that, Taejin is there, turning me gently to face him. His kiss is different again, deep and slow and devastating, like he's memorizing me, learning every response, cataloging what makes me melt. His hands frame my face with a tenderness that makes my chest ache. Through the bond, I feel his emotions clearly, reverence, wonder, like I'm something precious he can't quite believe he gets to keep. When he finally pulls back, I'm breathing hard. This is insane. Want us to stop? Siwoo asks from where he's been watching, his dark eyes tracking every movement. I should say yes. Should be reasonable. No, I breathe. He moves then, crossing to me with that quiet intensity that makes every nerve in my body stand at attention. When he kisses me, it's like coming home and falling off a cliff at the same time. Controlled but passionate, restrained but absolutely certain. His hand slides into my hair, tilting my head to deepen the kiss. And through the bond, I feel his satisfaction when I make another one of those embarrassing sounds. Beautiful, he murmurs against my lips. You're so beautiful. I want to argue. Want to point out that I'm a mess, exhausted and overwhelmed and probably making terrible decisions. But through the bond, I feel their truth. They see me, all of me, and they meant what they said. I'm worth keeping. The thought cracks something open inside me, and suddenly I'm not just feeling their emotions anymore. I'm drowning in them, in the sheer overwhelming force of how much they want this. Want me. Jiho, Woojin's voice cuts through the haze. You need to breathe. Right, breathing. That's a thing I should do. I take a shaky breath, then another. The bond settles slightly, still intense but manageable. Too much? Taejin asks gently. No, I shake my head. Not too much, just new. We have time, Siwoo reminds me. The final claiming doesn't have to happen tonight. But you want it to. I can feel it through the bond. The desire, the need, carefully held in check. We want whatever you're ready for, Woojin corrects. I look between them, 4 territorial kings, some of the most powerful alphas in Korea, waiting on my word, holding back because I matter more than their desire. When have I ever mattered more? I'm ready, I say. Not for everything, not yet. But stay, please. I don't want to be alone. Relief floods through the bond from all 4 of them. Never again, Hajun promises. You'll never be alone again. They guide me to the bed, gentle and careful. Woojin dims the lights. Taejin helps me out of my formal shirt, replacing it with something soft. Siwoo arranges pillows, and Hajun just grins at me like I'm the best thing he's ever seen. When we finally settle, I'm surrounded by warmth. Taejin behind me, his arm around my waist. Siwoo in front, his forehead resting against mine. Woojin and Hajun on either side, close enough to touch. Through the bond, I feel their contentment, their peace, and for the first time in my life, I feel it too. Safe, chosen, home. Sleep, Jiho, Wujin murmurs. We've got you. And held by four kings who decided I was worth breaking tradition for, I finally let myself rest. Sleep doesn't come immediately. How could it, wrapped in warmth and safety I've never known, feeling four heartbeats sync with mine through a bond that shouldn't exist but does? Through the connection, I sense them settling too. Wujin's mind cataloging contingency plans even as he relaxes. Taijin's steady presence anchoring all of us. Hajun's thoughts still dancing with energy despite the late hour. And Siwu, quiet and watchful, his consciousness a cool stream running beneath everything. You're not sleeping, Siwu murmurs against my forehead. Neither are you. I'm keeping watch. From what? I ask. We're literally in the most secure compound in Seoul. Old habits. His thumb traces circles on my shoulder blade. Give me time. Time. The word resonates through the bond, and I feel their agreement. We have time now. Time to build this impossible thing between us. Time to figure out what a nexus bond really means. Time to just be. The council will come for us, I say quietly. Tomorrow. Probably. Let them. Wujin's voice rumbles from behind Taijin. We're ready. Are we? I shift slightly to see him better. I still don't know how to control this. What if I hurt someone? What if the bond won't happen? Taijin's arm tightens around my waist. We'll teach you. Together. Plus, Hajun adds with a grin I can hear, watching you accidentally broadcast embarrassing thoughts to the council? That's entertainment I'm willing to risk. Despite everything, I laugh. You're terrible. You like it. Through the bond, I feel his certainty. And he's right. I do like it. Like all of them, with their different personalities and strengths, and the way they fit together like pieces of a puzzle I didn't know was incomplete. Sleep, Jiho. Siwoo's voice is soft but commanding. Everything else can wait. This time, I let myself drift. I wake to sunlight streaming through the windows and the scent of coffee. For a moment, I'm disoriented, unsure where I am or why I feel so warm and safe. Then memory crashes back. The ritual, the rejection, four kings claiming me in front of everyone, the bond. I sit up quickly and the room spins. Easy. Taijin appears with a cup of coffee, settling on the edge of the bed. The bond's still adjusting. Your body needs fuel. I take the coffee gratefully. Where are the others? Wujin's handling the council. They showed up an hour ago, demanding explanations. His expression is amused. Hajun's with him, being spectacularly unhelpful, and Siwoo's coordinating with our territories, making sure everyone knows you're under our protection. And you're here making sure I don't panic? Someone has to. He brushes hair from my forehead. How do you feel? I take stock. The bond is still there, steady and strong, but the overwhelming intensity from last night has settled into something manageable. I can sense the others even from a distance, their emotions and general thoughts filtering through without drowning me. Good, I say, surprised to find it's true. Really good, actually. Taijin's smile could light up the whole city. Good, because we have visitors. Before I can ask what he means, the door slides open and Wujin enters, followed by Hajun and Siwoo, and behind them, surprisingly, Elder Shin. I tense immediately. Peace, Jihosi. The elder holds up his hands. I'm not here to challenge the bond. Then why are you here? My voice comes out sharper than intended. Elder Shin looks at the four kings, then back to me. To apologize. Silence. I'm sorry, I manage. The council, we made assumptions. About you, about your worth, about what tradition should mean. He bows, actually bows to me. We were wrong. A Nexus Omega is sacred. The fact that you manifested with these four kings is a sign we cannot ignore. A sign of what? That change is necessary. He straightens. The territories have been fractured for too long. Old grudges, old hierarchies, keeping us weak. But a Nexus bond, properly formed, could unite us, make us strong again. So now you want to use me. The words come out flat. No, Wu Jin's voice cuts in. Now they want to work with us. There's a difference. Elder Shin nods. The council has voted, unanimously. We recognize your bond as legitimate. We offer our protection and support. In return, we ask only that you consider helping bridge the territories. Not as a tool, but as a partner. I look at the four kings. Through the bond, I feel their support, their certainty that this is my choice to make. I'll consider it, I say finally, but I have conditions. Name them. No more omegas treated as lesser because they can't shift or don't fit traditional molds. No more political marriages forced on people who deserve to choose. And full transparency. No more hidden agendas or manipulation. Elder Shin actually smiles. Done. I'll draft the amendments personally. After he leaves, I turn to the kings. Did that actually just happen? You just negotiated with the council and won. Hajun pulls me into a hug. That was incredibly hot. Everything is hot to you, I point out. Not true. Some things are just moderately attractive. You? Blazing inferno. Through the bond, I feel their laughter, their joy, their absolute certainty that this, us, is right. So what now, I ask. Now, Siwu says, pulling me close, we finish the bond. Properly. You mean, the final claiming? Wujin's eyes are dark with promise. If you're ready, am I ready? To tie myself to 4 alphas permanently? To accept a bond that will change everything? I look at each of them. Wujin, brilliant and protective. Taejun, warm and steady. Hajun, bright and passionate. Siwu, quiet and intense. Through the bond, I feel their love. Real, deep, unconditional love that doesn't care about my flaws or my past or whether I fit anyone's expectations. They chose me, loudly, publicly, without hesitation, and I choose them right back. I'm ready, I say. What happens next is heat and sensation and overwhelming emotion as the bond completes itself. It's intimate and powerful and perfectly right. 4 souls weaving together into something stronger than any of us could be alone. When it's done, when the bond settles into place, permanent and unbreakable, I feel it clearly. I'm not alone anymore. I'll never be alone again. I have 4 kings who love me, a power that makes me extraordinary instead of broken, and a future that's mine to shape however I want. Held by the 4 alphas who saw me when I was invisible, I smile. This is what it feels like to be chosen. And it's everything. If you love Jiho's journey from rejection to being claimed by 4 alpha kings, hit that subscribe button. There are so many more exciting and intriguing stories coming your way you won't want to miss. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Your support means everything.